go. All right, so I'm going to do 2 videos for the kids. I'm going to do a more in-depth one with Olive here as a demonstrator, and then I'll just run Simba through the motions in his own video. I'm working with them individually just to lessen the chaos typically when we're really first learning things. If there's sibling dogs, then we're losing a lot of clarity because everyone's scrambling for food and things like that. So I want to make sure I get a foundation down, and then I'll start working with them a little bit more together, especially when we go on field trips. So I might kind of go back and forth with that. Sometimes we'll do stuff individually, then together, then back to individually, and then so forth. So I always start the first week with generally the same type of things where we're going to work on marker inquisition and helping dogs understand leash pressure. Marker inquisition is I want them to understand reward words and reward events and things like that. Leash pressure, I want them to understand leash pressure, what it's asking, and how to remove it, so that I have the ability to enforce behaviors with lack of motivation when they're motivated elsewhere. So a marker is going to be a word that marks a moment in time that I like something that she does, they do. For her, that's going to be the announcer of food, of a reward. So I want to create the association between the 2 events. Every time she hears the marker, she will then associate that with receiving food, and hopefully the idea is that whatever she's doing when she hears the marker, she will again associate with food, so that she will want to repeat that behavior in the future. Once we get a good history of that going, then I will layer in rules through leash pressure. So I'm gonna go back to markers and I'll come back and forth between those 2 things. So we have a couple different markers that have different meanings as far as what I'm looking for within behavior and what the reward event is going to look like. The main one that I always start out with is the word yes. That means I like what you did, come take food from me, and typically I'm going to add a little bit of playfulness and movement. It means, hey, come take food from me. She doesn't have to do anything past hearing that marker, and that is, I use that initially in the beginning so that we can get a lot of reps in, because I don't need there to be any type of duration. I'm not asking them to stay in behavior for an extended period of time. I want it to be that exact position is what I was looking for. All right, come take food. So it can be fun, and again, something we can get a bunch of reps in so that they really understand this word equals this behavior and so forth. So then we have the word good, which is going to be duration. So if I put her into a behavior, when I say the word good, I'm going to pay her in behavior. I'm going to bring that food to her so that she doesn't come out of behavior. So again, like once we have that word yes done, she's going into behavior. I'm going to start putting words on, or excuse me, commands, verbal commands into the behavior, and then I'm going to start paying in behavior. Every dog's different. Some dogs, they need like a lot of payment to build that duration, otherwise they lose their attention span a little bit, and they start popping up out of behavior, which was a lot of her. So for her, for instance, the sit command, when I would put her into a sit, most dogs when they come to training, they typically know the word sit. So she would sit, and then when I go to give her food, she'd pop up, I can pop back up out of that sit to take the food. So I really did a lot. I jumped right into duration with her to help her understand the concept of remaining in behavior. So there was a lot of like, good, 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 and then okay is going to be that terminal marker. If I hesitated or lingered a little bit too long, she would come back up out of that sit, just purely out of not knowing, right? She wasn't being non-compliant. She just was, oh, I sat, and now I'm done. I can come take food. So I really wanted to help her understand that. So I'll just kind of show you the difference between the 2 things with our replace command, which is something that I really want to help her with impulse control and slowing things down and thinking things through. That's what we're going to really use the place command for. Well, I can't talk, sorry. Especially since both of them have a tendency to just kind of do when they are unsure of a situation, right? So like both of them kind of just run out of the kennel when they are ready, when the door opens. I want to really help them learn how to wait and wait to be invited through and things like that. So I'm gonna start that with the place command. So, ma'am, hi, place, yes. So as soon as she touches that place, she gets to come take food. That is putting value on going onto that object. Place. Yes. She doesn't have to do anything. I just want her to know every time I say the word place, place. Yes. She gets food from me. Very good. Then we have duration. Olive. Place. Good. You see how she kind of hangs out on there? Good. And I want to introduce the concept of things happening. Good. I want my movements, all of that stuff to be neutral. Good. I don't really care what she does on there as long as her feet stay on there. And then, okay, I'll kind of just guide her off of there. So another point, when I'm giving these markers, I want to make sure that she is responding to the word and not my movements and not me reaching towards my treat pouch. I do that so that, if she's like, and here there's not a lot of competing motivators, so she's pretty engaged with me. But if we're out and about and she's looking around and she's only used to responding to me, like reaching towards my treat pouch, if she's not looking at me in that moment when I go to reward her, then that's a missed opportunity to pay a behavior. So I want to make sure that she hears the words and has a reflexive response to them. So like I'll get her to walk away when she's not really looking at me. All eyes on me. You're not supposed to just hurt me. Yes. Yeah. So I say the word yes, and then I reach into my treat pouch. So sit. Good. I do a lot of like fake reaching towards my treats to really help generalize. Good. That the only thing that presents that food, good, is the word good. So like I'll do this, nothing happens. Good. Okay. Same thing with that release word. Like I want to make sure that I'm not like always, okay, doing a lot of movement because I don't want her responding to my moving being what releases her out of that behavior. And then with leash pressure, I like to incorporate, leash, utilizing like negative reinforcement with the leash in the learning phase, so that she knows what it's asking and, out, yes. And that the removal of that pressure happens by going into behavior. I want dogs to know what leash pressure means and what it's asking so that I can utilize it as an enforcing means when they're not motivated by me, right? So like in here, she's like, okay, treats are the best thing ever. I don't care about anything else because there's not really a lot of interesting things going on. But if she had her brother in here, or we were in an environment where there's squirrels or you guys were here or whatever, she doesn't necessarily care about what I have to offer anymore. I still want that reliability of me asking for the behavior. So, Olive, sit, good. So I'm just utilizing a little bit of tension in the leash. Sit. Olive, sit, good. And it goes away when she does the behavior, good. Creating that association, okay, helps her understand that leash pressure is asking for something, it's enforcing something, and it goes away through compliance, through the follow-through of the behavior. I'm doing it right now at a level that she doesn't necessarily feel the need to remove, it's just kind of laying on her neck. And that way, again, when we get into environments where I want her to do something and she's like, I'm doing other things, I can say, I know that you don't want to, but I need you to. And then when I apply pressure in a way that she might actually want to remove it, hey, Olive, sit, come here, away from that. Sit, good. She actually knows how to remove it, so it's not a stressful thing. Okay, if we do too much pressure too soon, or maybe she's unsure of what the pressure is asking, the tension that she's asking, you'll then kind of tap into opposition reflex where they immediately go into resistance. So I want it to be just enough where she's not stressed out by its presence. I hope that makes sense. Olive, sit. Good. So you see like she's not, good. Okay, she's not showing any stress signs when she feels the leash. Come. Yes. She's just reacting to it through compliance because I'm also motivating her out of the unwanted behavior. That's not really how I want to word that, but you get it. Right, girlfriend? So again, like we're doing a lot of Leash pressure into behavior.
Yes, very nice.
Mostly right now it's just her luring around, both of them luring around, following my hand into positions, me paying them. I want to just have a lot of value in different things before I'm really gonna start, bless you, doing things outside of the training room. I want to have a nice foundation where they're actually understanding what I'm looking for before, before I create too much conflict by means of competing motivators. Very good. Yeah, so if you have any questions, I'm gonna do one for Simba too. It's probably not gonna be as much of me talking, more so just me playing around with things. But if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. All right.
Cool. Cool beans.